Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 5 of the PSGL PSF1. It is the crown jewel in the calendar. It is time for the Monaco Grand Prix. My name is Austin Smith, and we'll introduce the co-commentator in just a second. But first, we're quickly going to go over what has happened in the last couple of weeks, especially last week, obviously, around France, where it was VSR Timon celebrating his first victory in the PSGL top tier. And he, of course, was accompanied on the podium by CRG Blizzard and CRG Sparks. Of course, it needs to be mentioned, VSR Timon is no longer VSR Timon. Post-race, he's effectively turning this into a CRG 1-2-3 podium there, as he has now joined CRG. Domi was in 4th for AlphaTauri, Wouters 5th, Aero 6th, Matai 7, Juiced 8, Ashbest 9, and Vasta Racer got the final point of the race. The driver of the day was, of course, CRG Sparks, and for the first time, we actually have one of the driver's faces and not one of the real-life driver's faces there. So, Sparks, congratulations on winning driver of the day. The driver standings look like this. The driver of the day is CRG Sparks, now leading the championship with 39 points. Timon second with 36. Juice at 35. So we have a very, very close three-way battle here for the championship lead. Then a massive 11-point gap to Wouters. That's more than a third place, the difference between those two. And then Blizzard, Gamer, Jordan, Domi, Aero, Casper gets really close there. You see the standings. In the team standings, we have Haas leading the way at 59 points. Williams only 6 behind at 53. Alfa Romeo third at 40. And Racing Point at 35. And once again, we have an 11-point gap after them to Mercedes. And then it trickles down from there. And of course, let's introduce today's track. It is, of course, Monaco, the Circuit de Monaco, as it's officially called. 3.337 kilometers long, the only track under 4 kilometers, and by quite a bit. 39 laps, the only track where we will not complete at least 150 kilometers race distance in our 50% race. First Grand Prix here was held in 1950, so of course a very, very historic track. 19 corners, and you lose about 18 seconds in the pit lane, and as you can see, the hard tire, well, it's borderline useless, as it is 1.2 seconds slower than the medium. So you want to go soft medium here if you can. However, the question is, well, can you? And with that, I'll forward that question, actually, to our co-commentator, the voice of PSGL, of course, for the last 5 seasons now. It is the one, the only, Owen Wyatt. Owen, what do you think? Is the hard useless? Can they go soft or medium?
Well, first of all, hello everybody. Welcome on. And the hard is absolutely useless unless you have an accident, I guess, at the start of the race, to be honest. I don't see it being used at any other time. But, yes, we're here in Monaco, and already people are crashing into each other, Austin. I believe there's been 1 or 2 penalties already.
Oh my goodness, that's one way to start it, really.
I think
we can't even see that. Hold on.
Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Yes, Sparks has crashed into Domi and he's got a grid penalty. So that's a dreadful start to this Monaco win for him. And of course, we're here in Monaco looking to try and make it 5 different winners in the first 5 races. We obviously love seeing this happen all the time. And as you say, close championship fight as well. So, as everyone knows, I love this track. So, really, I couldn't be more looking forward to a race in this one. I cannot wait to see how they get on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very exciting. Obviously, if you remember the real-life Monaco Grand Prix, every time that happens, the most interesting thing they always say is the qualifying. Well, we got 15.5 minutes in front of us, and then probably a little bit more, probably around 1 minute and 10 extra on top. What do you think? Is this the most interesting qualifying session of the whole season?
I think it has to be, doesn't it? I mean, it's just non-stop action, and people absolutely driving to the limits. As you know, the walls are so close around here, and you absolutely have to nail every single corner, because if you don't, you'll be into the wall. or you'll have a rubbish lap time. And we know how close the grid is here. And with such a short lap time, as you know, it's going to be probably one of the closest qualifyings of the season, one of the most competitive of the season. And it is where you could get a completely mixed up result as well. So I absolutely cannot wait to see how they all get on.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be interesting, I gotta say. I'm very excited for this. With the lap being as short as it is, with a 1:08, 1:07, I mean, there's not much room for error. We see Timon, last week's race winner, now taking provisional pole position early on, but of course the times are going to tumble down more and more. I think a mid 1:07 is going to be, maybe even a low 1:07, looking at Sparks' time now, is probably where we're going to end up. Do you think they can break into the 1:06s?
I don't know about that. I think it'll take something quite special to do that one, but I guess you never know. We have to see how it all pans out. Traffic, position on track, you know, corner cutting. There's so much that can get in the way of that, and we are 7/10 away from even a low 1:07. So we'll see if they get close to it. I don't think they'll be in the sixes though.
Yeah, I think the world record on Monaco and time trial, both on PlayStation and on PC, is a 1:06.9.
Yes,
and the only person to have done it on the PlayStation at least is VER Timon, who is not the same person as CRG Timon, and from all I know is not even related. They just have the same first name, which is Timon, and they're both obviously from the same country, the Netherlands, but not the same person. But maybe it's a good omen for CRG Timon that someone of the same name is doing well around here. Maybe he's gonna do well as well. I'm just reading into it a little bit too much, maybe. But you know, you gotta think. At 1:06, I think, as you say, yeah, it takes something really, really special. We need a time from a driver that just, I mean, it would be certainly pole position, but it would have to be something truly remarkable.
Yeah, it would be. I think maybe Timon would have a little bit of competition to be the top Timon in the world, but apart from that, I don't know if anyone's going to get there. It is worth putting out, maybe not particularly relevant for this week, but for maybe the following weeks, there was an update to the game today which lets you do equal cars now, or equal performance in time trial. And obviously, if this is the problem, you can't really compare time trial to this massively because it is different cars. But from now onwards, you might be able to get sort of better times than that. So while maybe they can go quicker than a 6.9 with these cars, we just don't really know.
Yeah. Can I just ask? I'm a little bit confused. Do you also see a car named Charles Leclerc in P17?
No, that'd be Lee Finlay, who's currently on a lap. I think he is. Is he in Charles Leclerc's car?
He is in Charles Leclerc's car, yes.
He is in Charles Leclerc's car.
To me, and on the stream, it shows as Charles Leclerc. It doesn't show as Lee Findlay.
Yeah, it shows as Lee Finlay for me, but he's absolutely in the number 16 Ferrari with a blank helmet as well. So I guess.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a problem, but I do assure you that is Lee Finlay, and he hasn't validated the lap time, and he has really stuck it into the wall. So, yes,
I was a little bit confused.
It's not an AI.
I was a little bit confused there because obviously, if it's called Charles Leclerc, either we've actually got the real Charles Leclerc to drive here, which I would be very surprised by because I think, you know, we would get sort of a heads up on that by Connor. But the thing is, I wouldn't put it past him to be able to get the real Charles Leclerc in. If anyone can do it, it's Connor. But, you know, I was very surprised there. But no, it is just a little bit of a glitch there, a little bit of a bug. But this is actually Lee Findlay, as Blizzard has invalidated. Who else is there on a lap right now? Prinens, Gamer, and Christmas.
Wow. That's not the way through there for Prinens. He's got to be careful he doesn't hit the wall again. Lots of front-line damage there. He was going past the Alpha Tauri. I don't think it distracted him massively, but it might have just put him off a little bit, and he hit the wall on the inside of Tabak, and then that spits you out.
Oh, a Gamer, look at his time as well. 6 seconds almost off the pace. Must have made a massive mistake there.
Yeah, so he'll have abandoned that lap and might just be going again on the same set. Or maybe that's actually a new lap started, is it? Maybe he just abandoned the first one, he wasn't happy with it. He's quicker in the first sector anyway, so hopefully that first time won't be relevant to him at the end of the session. Sparks is on a lap as well. Obviously, he is fastest at the moment. And
yeah,
he's
I think
heading towards Tabak.
I think the mistake here for Gamer happened sort of second sector, maybe a little bit. I think he just took it slow in the final sector, so he lost about he lost exactly 1.7 seconds to Sparks in the final sector, as Sparks now improves to a 1 minute 7.5, but he lost about 4 seconds in the middle sector. So I'm thinking right now it's probably the case that he must have made a huge mistake, costing him 4 seconds in the middle sector, and then took it slow for the third, and yeah, just sort of rolled out. As Domi moves up to P5, we got his lap here on stream and on screen. But oh my goodness, look at that right now. I mean, this is interesting. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, and look at what letters they begin with.
Yes.
And then, hold on, and now consider that P5 and P7 are both of ESR drives, and then look at 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those two teams, CRG and VSR, the esports teams, seem to be dominating right now. I think it's safe to say. First non-CRG, non-VSR driver is Dario in P9.
Yes, that is spooky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clearly showing their dominance, but hopefully they can keep it, or maybe not. Depends who you like really on that list. But yes, spooky occurrences here in Monaco. I do wonder if another problem for Gamer, if he might also have that, is it might just be letting people through or getting caught up by people in traffic. You can see it all around the circuit, people on laps, people trying to pit. It's a complete nightmare to try and get around.
Oh yeah.
So I guess that's sort of what I brought up earlier. Maybe it is just traffic that will cost him. Lucky for him, it's on his first run, but that could so easily be your big final run.
Mm-hmm. You gotta think about this for a second. This track is under 3.4 kilometers long. You have 20 cars. Let's say they all go out for a final run. Not at the same time, but, you know, they split up the track in 20 equal parts. The distance between each car is going to be less than 170 meters. That's not a lot in an F1 car. So it's gonna happen that we're gonna see traffic here. We're gonna see issues with traffic. You know, cars are gonna get hopefully not blocked, but it's borderline unavoidable here. It always happens, and it's the nature of the track. There's not much you can do about it. Certainly, there's no ill will by any drivers to actually block someone. All the drivers we have here are gentlemen in the true sense of the word, but it's just unavoidable here. It's so close, so narrow, so tight that sometimes you just don't find a place to give way.
Yeah, I think even if you're trying to move out of the way, it might still look like you're blocking. It's just you can barely go too wide, so you can imagine how difficult it is when you're trying to move aside for people, because it's never going to be too wide for a lot of people on their laps. So difficult. But yeah, they, as you say, they're all gentlemanly. They're the best in the world. Look at that. Fernandez has had to stop on his way up the hill just to let them by. They're finding their way around. Fair enough.
Yeah, well, look at Casper right now. He improves up to P3 right there. 10th improvement. Did lose a little bit in the final sector, but it was still enough to keep P3 and split the CRG guys there. Sparks and Timon ahead. Gamer and Matos behind. With Blizzard not having set a lap time, surely that's about to change, and indeed it is as he comes through the final corner. What's it gonna be? This looks like a good one. Not great. No, actually, not even really good. It's almost a second off the pace of his fellow CRG drivers, and down in P18. But it's still 6 minutes. It's been so hectic.
Jordan lost a lot of time in the last sector. I've noticed that some people are derating on that main strip. Well, we always didn't mention it, but yeah, I'm surprised they're letting that happen. Surely you could just save that energy in the hairpins at the start of the middle sector. But I'm surprised that you'd ever run out on a qualifying lap here, but that could cost you with the gaps being so tight. So Jordan, you know, was on for sort of a top 5 there and ends up 9th. So that's something you've got to really look at for your final runs.
Yeah, and the gap is just 0.04 of a second to P6. So if he beats those 3 drivers, if he's 0.04 of a second faster, that is 3 positions right there. If he's a 10th faster, that's another position on Matthijs. But here comes Lee Findlay I know it says Charles Leclerc, but it is Lee Findlay, and at least he moves himself out of last place at... I mean, can we say at his home race? Because it's not Lee Findlay's home race, obviously. But, I mean, with the name showing, I think we can sort of give him the home bonus here, really. As Dario. Wow. The other Ferrari.
Look at Sparks. Look at Sparks. He's nearly 2/10 up on his middle sector.
Oh, yeah.
He's extended that even further as he crossed the line. Dominant so far in this qualifying session. That's extraordinary. He's far nearly a 1/4% on the whole pack.
Yeah, that is just... I mean, Sparks seems to love this track. It needs to be said. This is...
It's a matter of culture.
So far, this is already fantastic from him, and I'm interested to see if anyone can take this pole position away from him. Surely he's the favorite at this point.
Oh, you'd have to say that, wouldn't you? And there's so many people having to push their way through. I was watching both of the Alfa Romeos, and they were flying over the curves, doing all they can to just make the time up, but then they're just invalidating. They are absolutely giving it their all there, and then Sparks, he's just making it look easy. He's gone out there each and every lap, and he's just put the bar even higher. It's incredible stuff so far. And, well, there's still another run to go. So
yeah.
We'll see if he can make that an even bigger gap. But yeah, I would agree. It's sort of, can he beat his own time rather than can they beat him?
Yeah, so far the only driver right now on a lap is Suso in P15. Let's see how he gets along with it as he heads to Raskas. Looking good. Final corner. Don't see many mistakes, but then again, these are the best of the best, so it's hard to spot any mistakes anyway. 1 minute 7.7, that is a very good lap from him though. P7, ahead of last season's runner-up, CRG Matthijs. I think he's going to be pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, it's a good lap, that. I don't know if he'll get another lap in though now. He needs a really quick turnaround, so that might be him done for the session, especially with all the traffic as well he'd have to deal with. So that might be all we see from him. Dylan Warren, currently the lead AlphaTauri. He's going to be the first one to start a final run. And then after that, it's just going to be lap after lap after lap. It's going to be the most hectic end to a qualifying session.
Yeah, you got to call out who is on a lap, because I already don't know. There's so much going on.
I shall do my best to call them as they cross the line, but for now, I guess we can sit and watch Dylan, because we know he's the first one out on a lap, and we can just see the traffic troubles he might have as well. He's not too bad, but there's a few people in the middle sector. It's just, I don't know if people had a full lap just to see all that, but near the end of the session, that'd be pretty hectic. He's having it quite easy, but you can see if you've got the full map on, all the cars leaving the pit lane, and the track becomes way more populated. I just don't know how they're all going to make it round, but anyway, Dylan Warren, he's got pretty much the whole tunnel to himself. He actually should be alright. I don't think that Ferrari ahead would get in his way anyway.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, invalid. In the Nouvelle Chicane, that is his lap done. And
he's got a chance to save his ERS up, hasn't he? But look at this. He's having to stop still now. That wasn't even a car on a lap, I don't think, he's letting through. It's just, you've got to be so careful around here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's I guess, some of the troubles you'll have there. And that's pretty much an example there of what can go wrong on a lap around here when it's, that pressured.
Yeah, that is as well the #1 corner cutting spot, but he's going to try again now.
I think Jordan's also backed off on his lap, and he was on a flyer. So that's not gone too well. He's got a few cars behind him. Not too many of them are actually on that, so I think most of those are earlier on the lap and also giving up. Yeah, a lot of these people are not getting their laps done at the moment. They are struggling a lot out there. Who actually is on a lap that hasn't been abandoned yet? I think Wouters, I want to say, is the lead car who's actually on a lap.
No, Racer not. I thought for a second, but no.
Yeah, Wouters is going purple in that middle sector, though, to be fair, everyone's gone purple in that middle sector on my screen, so that might just be a game thing. But certainly Wouters is going to finish the lap here. Might even get a little toe off Aero's racing point. But where is the Mercedes car going to go? He goes up to P14.
Equal.
3/10, but yeah, as you say,
equal time to Jordan.
And that's only, what, 5 1,000 separating that from 11th. So you can see how close this is all going to be. Right, now, who's next across the line? I believe that's Domi, who's had a bad middle sector. He might continue on and just keep rolling because that's not a quick lap. We've got more coming. Ash Best is into the wall. That's his day done. Checkered flag
Christmas
is out
coming.
here.
3/10 up.
Christmas.
And it's one position, but P16.
Jordan's gone 4th. Sparks hasn't improved. We've got Vassarator, is that?
P5, there comes Prinens.
Prinens.
Oh, P18.
Improves, but not very high. Then we've got, on math, I think he says 9th place. Simon, he's 3rd. Where's he going to go as he crosses the line? He goes up to 2nd place. We've then got, I believe, Aero next. I think he's abandoned his lap, actually. A few of them have abandoned. Straight into the pits for most of them, actually. As it stands. Juice, does he keep on going? He is, but he's down on his lap and he's derating. He does go 15th, though. Next up, we will have Donny, who's up marginally, but it would be still enough to get into the top 10 as it stands. Here he comes around the last corner. Not many more to settle that time now. A lot of people struggling on that last run.
Yeah.
Tommy.
And here comes Casper. Casper improves to P3.
Yes.
That was
P3.
the lap. That was the lap I was looking at. He had a little bit of a slide there through the harbour chicane, and I thought that was going to be it, but no, he still managed to get a P3 out of this. But it is COG Sparks, who will not start on pole position, but he gets P1 in qualifying. But because of the grid penalty, he will start P6. It will be timing. Yeah, it really is. It will be timing on pole. Casper P2, Dario 3, Jordan 4, Vasta Racer 5, Sparks then in 6, Gamer 7, Suso 8, Matthijs 9, Dylan 10, and then we have free tire choice for Ashbest, Domi, Aero, Wouters, Juiced, Recon, Christmas, Prinens, Blizzard, and Lee Findlay. We can't see the name here. It wasn't Charles Leclerc, but Lee Findlay here in P20. And yeah, this is going to be interesting. I wonder how much this 5-place grid penalty is going to come back to haunt Sparks, because we know this is Monaco. We know you can't overtake around here. We know strategy is going to be hugely important. And I would be surprised if the top 10 are on somewhat different strategies. I think they're going to be all on very similar strategies. And it's going to be P11 who might be in the best position to move up the order.
I've got to say, that is so annoying, isn't it, for Sparks? I mean, we didn't even see the incident, but knowing this sort of the way they do their penalties, it's harsh. You can't, that hurts my heart, that. Seeing a lap that good get, taken down. But, yeah, I doubt he'll manage to get away. I think, as you say, maybe if you're 11th, you try something different on the tires, you get a lucky safety car, maybe that will help you get up the grid. You might also be helped just by accidents around the track. I think this is obviously a lot more likely than somewhere like Spa to have an accident on. So there are ways of getting up. But
you say that, Owen. We've seen I've certainly seen quite a few accidents around Spa, but that's because the track is difficult in its own ways. For one, because it's rather long, and for two, because it's got a lot of elevation changes and challenging corners. But this one here, yeah, you can crash everywhere. You can have an issue everywhere. Turn 1, yep. Turn 2, yep. Turn 3, yep. We could go all the way through to turn 19, yep. Anywhere, like you can just bin it at any moment because the walls are just that close.
No, I have seen a lot of these starts on league races recently where there have been ghosting, basically, on the first lap. I hope it's on again here, actually. Because
oh yeah.
You can imagine how crazy that would be into turn 1. Just on the tires, by the way, everybody outside the top 10 except for Aero has started on the mediums. Aero himself being on the softs, and as you say, and as I agreed, no one's on the hards because they're useless unless you have an accident on lap 1, which yeah. We hope there aren't any accidents.
See, here's the interesting thing. I think Aero is being smart here. I think Aero's being incredibly smart here because think about this now. Track position on this track is so incredibly important. Unless you get a safety car, which you can't plan for when exactly it happens. Starting on the softs would allow him to pit under an early safety car, whereas the medium runners wouldn't, most likely. And then, he's going to be in the top 11, and if someone retires, if someone makes a mistake, he's in the points. As Christmas and Recon apparently made contact on the formation lap. This is the PSGL
all
F1.
the time, doesn't it? It always happens somewhere.
Yeah. Well, cold tires for both of them at the start, because they may have warmed up their tires, but it's all for nothing, and they will be on cold tires. So, Prudence, Blizzard, and Lee Findlay, be warned. This is not going to end well otherwise. As we're just waiting.
Here's the lights, Austin. We've got Timon on pole, we've got Casper second. It's not really a straight here, it's just a continuous bend. So let's see who gets this one right. As we get off the line in Monaco, they are ghosting, thank goodness for that. And it looks like Timon will be clear into turn one, but will Dye have a look on the inside? He's had to cut the corner, but they've all got through relatively unharmed because they are all ghosting. So thank goodness we've got a clean start in Monaco.
Yeah, surprisingly. But with these drivers, not so surprisingly. Needs to be said, obviously, they're not just the best when it comes to... Oh, never mind.
We've got
I commentators cursed someone there.
Look, Friends, he's spun off and he's tried to spin it back around safety car because he has smashed his front wing to pieces as he's tried to spin it around. And we've got penalties galore at the hairpin as that safety car came out. People were slamming on the brakes, I guess, and people have been hitting into each other. And there's a lot of cars with a lot of damage to it. It's interesting to see that, really, isn't it? We've got the task system. You can see there's, what, 4 or 5 different cars with damage out there already?
Yeah, let me see, who is there? Oh my god, yeah, Britain's 100% left and right, so that's basically saying he has no front wing. Which, to be fair, looking at it... Oh, there's a Mercedes spun in the Nouvelle Chicane. That is Christmas. How does that happen? Under the safety car. But either way, Christmas has his left wing damaged.
Oh no, both the Hasses are in the pits. They're going to have to stack. I hope there's no front wings broken there because that'll be painful, that. They're going on to the hards. No front wing for Sparks. No front wing for Sparks.
No front wing for either. No front wing for either. They had no damage. Both had no damage.
So you
can see that on the telemetry system. Neither one of them had any kind of any kind of damage on the front wing. It was Ash best, but he decides to go on. He only has 6% damage, so it's very minor damage there. Something you can mitigate.
Where he's got it. He probably won't even be aware he's got that damage.
Possibly, yeah. And everyone else got repairs. We had Christmas, Aero, Domi, all getting new front wings, and those are the only 3 actually who got a new front wing there.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Suso, Aero, and Domi didn't go onto the hards. They went on to Suso and Aero mediums, and then Domi softs. Strange, so I would have thought they'd all just stick the hards on. As you say, track distance key. As long as you're at the front of the train, you can go as slow as you like. They're not going to pass you.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is,
Sparks in a winning position here.
Possibly, yeah.
Thank goodness for that. A bit of a redemption for qualifying then. Unless, of course, it goes wrong later on. It is only lap 2, of course.
Yeah, well, you gotta think about this now. He's in P10, and he's gonna be stuck there for a while. So he's gonna lose some time to the leaders. If they drive out a whole pit stop, which is 18 seconds, they're gonna overtake him, or they're gonna stay in front of him rather, even after a pit stop. So I'm not so sure that he's in the best position here, but he's certainly in a good position. Yes,
he's certainly at least the lead car who has stopped. And we've got Domi and Recon back in the pits. Recon surely not taking those hards off, is he? Because he got a penalty or something to take. Domi's on mediums now. And Recon's on mediums again, so yeah, okay, they're right. No one's on the softs at least outside the softs now. I didn't understand why they were doing that, but maybe they don't think hards will go to the end, and so if they're on mediums, they'll be able to stick softs on at the end. Maybe that's what their plan is for the medium runners. I'd assume the hard runners want to go to the end.
Yeah, for Recon, Recon served a 5-second penalty, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
He was in the pits for 7.7 seconds. Usually the pit stop takes 2.6, so a 5-second penalty served there for Recon, which I think is the smart thing to do here. If you have a penalty, which no one has anymore. So they've all served it under the safety car. It is the smart thing to do instead of hoping that it's going to be removed, or at this point can't be removed because they're going to have to serve it during the race at some point. You can't turn it off. So, you know, serve it under the safety car and hope the rest of the race goes better. But, yeah, for Domi, it was just a normal pit stop. 2.6 seconds from softs to mediums. He just wanted to get the softs out of the way, I guess. He was always intending to do a double pit stop, went back onto his old mediums that he started with. Well, his tire strategy is done at this point. He is free to continue the way he's been driving.
What's happened there? What on earth has happened there? I don't know what's happened.
Where?
Did Christmas try and go into the pits or something? I'm trying to figure out if... I think Christmas has just tried to go into the pits and his car has just appeared in the final corner. I don't know if it was a glitch or whatever. He's down to last.
And he does have damage on the front right.
Yeah, I don't know. Has he maybe hit the wall on the way in or something and it's put him back on the track? I'm not 100% sure what was going on there.
I do not know. I did not see it. I did not catch it. So
I didn't really see much there.
Yeah. You gotta give me more of a clue, Owen, if you see something as to who is involved.
I shall try and save my clip and see if I can catch it there. Because I just thought, he's going, alright, he's going to pit. And then he just, oh wait, what's happened there? So let me go and see what's happened there. It looked very odd indeed. So hopefully the safety car doesn't go in just yet. I'd like to see what happens.
It might. I think almost everyone has caught up to the safety car at this point.
PSGL race control here. I'm Anthony Davidson or Karun Dr. Calder. So whoever they have him, whichever one you like the most, I have them.
Oh, there you go. Safety car in this lap.
Oh, jeez. Right. Might have to abandon that then. How far on the lap are they?
Well, we're in the final sector for sure. We're at the... Is that the Harbour Chicane? I think it's the Harbour Chicane, yes.
Right.
We're just before Raskas. Timon is...
let's see the start then.
Yeah, it's probably better.
Yes. Right then. So, Timon, coming towards the final corner. Still weaving away.
Slow.
I guess there's no point really going until now, is there? Anyway, it's not like they're going to pass you in the last corner, so you might as well just take as late as you can, because it's a short run towards turn 1, and so Timon does keep the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. We do have a bit of side-by-side, I believe, going on there, and Christmas is now retired in the pit lane. So whatever went wrong from there, it's damaged the car, and he's decided he's going to call it a day as they all head through the casino. And we'll see if they escape this time without any incidents. Obviously, it's Prinens that went round here earlier on. He's probably made positions up from that, actually. I'm sure he was lower down than 16th when he had the accident, so great tactics there from him. And there's a lot of stopping. Oh my goodness. We've got a few cars. Blizzard and Domi have gone into Prinens because they've all sort of parked it up at the hairpin. I guess they're trying to take it a bit more like a qualifying lap rather than a race restart, because obviously it's going to Constantine massively, and some haven't anticipated that clearly.
Yeah, that's the one thing you have to remember around this track after a safety car race. That happened as Prentice hits the wall.
Yeah, well, he already had damage before, and it's going to get even worse now.
Oh. Yeah, and not just him, Blizzard as well. Blizzard hit him, and Blizzard's front wing is damaged as well now. Look at the left side there. Well, right side from this perspective, but the left side now. And he goes into the pit lane. He might actually retire. I wouldn't be surprised with that level of damage. Is he? No, he's sticking it out. Printens, however, is not.
Arrow's trying to pass Lee Finlay. Sorry to interrupt there. I don't know if Lee Finlay's had let him free or not, but that's a move up the hill for Arrow. And he's up to P14 at the moment. Obviously on those medium compound tyres, but we'll be trying to get by these hard compound runners if he can. Will be a difficult task, obviously, with the nature of the track, but I guess that's what also Suso will be wanting to try on Sparks if he can. No DRS, of course, until the next lap, and even then it's only a very, very short run towards turn 1, so that DRS will effectively be useless. But it'll still be there regardless. You might get a pass or two out of it. It just depends if you catch somebody off guard.
Yeah, and the one thing to note here is Vasta Racer has some damage as well on the front wing. So yeah, he's gonna be struggling. Yep, right side yellow.
He's in the pits.
And yeah, there you go. That explains it then.
New front wing and mediums he's going to go for. So that'll put him way down the field. Dario's got his first penalty today. I would expect a few. Turn 1, Nouvelle chicane, and the swimming pool chicanes. All easy to cut. So, yeah, expect a few of those today.
Meanwhile, DRS enabled, not that it matters much around this track, but for the first time this race, DRS is now online for all drivers, as Voss Racer has fallen down all the way to P17 after that, well, a little bit early pit stop, but not that early. Gotta remember that. Let's look at the tires once again. We have the top 6 still on the softs. Everyone behind on either mediums or hards. Those that are on 5-lap old or fresher tires can go to the end. So everyone from P9 onwards or downwards. Whoa, massive slide there from Dario. My goodness. How did he hold that?
Yeah. It's impressive, isn't it, how they can save such a seemingly impossible slide. I guess that might explain, though, why he's getting his warnings. He might be pushing a bit too hard if he's sliding that much, because that can't be doing him too much good. He's not outside that DRS range. He'll have Jordan very encouraged, if not a little bit terrified, sitting behind there. But, yeah, Dario can't keep doing that, because that'll wreck the tyres, and that'll be a nightmare for him at the end of the race if he keeps driving that way.
I mean, well, Dylan
locking up as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, Dylan was in the pit lane for him. Certainly no front wing issue, but it was a tire wear issue. He's been having a lot more tire wear than any of the other drivers. Thankfully, that is something we can see as well. And Dylan was really struggling with tire wear compared to everyone else on the softs in the top 5 right now.
He must have started on older tires. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, I think wasn't it him who like his last run, the first lap, he slightly or he invalidated in the Nouvelle chicane.
Yes,
and so he had to go again, and that explains it. As we now have some front wing damage for Ashbeth. No, Ashbeth's had it all the time, but Matthijs has some. Yeah,
Dario's in the pits, by the way.
Right side, a little bit of damage there, not visible actually. That's the craziest thing to me. We can see damage now that we weren't able to see before.
Yes, it's
fantastic.
It's a useful tool, isn't it, to have?
It really is. But he stays out. He stays out. He did get the damage on the previous lap, on lap 8, but he still decides to stay out, even though his teammate, Timon, also didn't come in.
Right, so sort of as I was saying, Dario did decide to pit in the end there, so this is effectively now an undercut on the leader. He'll be trying to get the lead of this. I know he had Casper in front of him as well, but you might as well try and get both of them if you can. And so he'll have a clear track in front of him, something that's so valuable around Monaco. And he has a good 4 seconds until he reaches the back of Recon, who's on the back of a struggling Lee Finlay. In fact, this might be a move about to happen here, as Recon goes down the inside and takes P13. So Dario might actually catch Lee Finlay quite quickly if Lee's struggling already, especially since they're teammates. It might be a bit easier actually for Dario. So hopefully he can get the maximum out of this new set of mediums while he's got the track position.
Yeah, very, very interesting here. That overtake just right down the inside into the Nouvelle chicane, and Recon says thank you very much. But I'm wondering, when do the top 4 come in? They can't come in all at the same time because we have 2 teammates there in Timon and Matthijs. So they can't come in at the same time unless they want to double stack. But Matthijs once again stayed out. So maybe he, once again, as you mentioned, Ashbeth doesn't realize he has damage. Maybe Matthijs doesn't realize he has damage either, because it's certainly not visible. It's not visible for the naked eye. Maybe it shows as sort of either light green or normal green on his heads-up display.
Yeah, he might not feel the need to pit at a light green. Maybe once it hits yellow, then he might think, that's when we'll start to see it. That's when he'll start to feel it, probably. I don't think 12% damage he would feel too much. And even at that,
I can tell you, anyone who pits now, which is Matthijs actually, will fall behind Dario. Maybe, no, definitely not behind. Oh no, actually, Matthijs will fall behind Dylan. That's pretty much for sure, because he was about 3 to 4 seconds behind Timon. So we got to add that. He will fall behind Dylan. He might actually fall behind Vasa Racer as well. With the front wing, he will definitely fall behind Vasa Racer and be down in P17. There he goes.
This is painful for Dario. He's trying to pass his teammate up the hill, and that was a lot less easy than it could have been. That could so easily have been done down towards turn 1, but Dario is now through and up into 13th place. I don't know if he set a fastest lap on the last lap. I'd hope he did, and he didn't. No, nowhere near a fastest lap actually last time round. So yes, maybe I'm sure he'll still be decently close to leaders. I'll just have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, meanwhile, a quick apology to all the viewers for the rev glitch there. I tried to switch away as quickly as possible, so apologies for that one. I hope your ears are still intact. But yeah, Dario up 1, now 13th, trying to make his way through the field against the hard tires. Certainly easy to do, but I mean, look at this. Timon now in. Jordan and Casper leading the way for now.
No, 1, 2. And it's mediums for Timon, and it's going to be, I'd assume, mediums again for Jordan. Indeed it is. So, where's Dario then? He's coming through now.
Yeah, he's got him.
Well, he's miles ahead, isn't he? He's absolutely miles ahead. And look at that, Dylan Warren and Lee Finlay. Dylan Warren is in a fantastic position now.
Yeah, but once again, Dylan Warren has some front wing damage as well. The 12% that we saw from Mattes earlier. So he's not going to be on the front foot too much, more on the back foot. But that being said, look at the situation that he's in right now. I mean, he's putting Lee Finlay under pressure because the tires are just that good. Almost runs into the back of him through the hairpin right there. And I think it might be on for a move here. Let's go on board with Dylan Warren. Thankfully, no rev glitch this time. Is he going to try? He has no ERS left. That's one thing we need to remember as well. It is so hard to regain ERS here because the track is so short as he slides. The track is so short. Timon looking for a move, maybe. That's not happening. But, yeah, the track is so short that just looking at the ERS button, looking at the overtake button, uses about 5% of ERS battery charge. And so you gotta make the overtakes happen pretty much in the corners where, to be fair, Dylan Warren has the advantage anyway with his tires, so he needs to get creative.
He really does, because he's going to have time to be even more creative behind him, because he'll be seeing Dylan struggling so much, he will try and nick through any potential opportunity. Say, he nearly had a go.
Oh, and a tap!
Right, he's pressuring him everywhere, because he knows Dylan's struggling to get by, and if he can just find that little gap when Dylan's trying to pass, he will pass him. And it's worth pointing out that they are now over 6 seconds, nearly 7 seconds behind Dario. But they're all behind, obviously, Sparks, who will have a massive chance to win this race, as long as his tyres can survive. He's been on these for 11 laps, and they currently they're only just hitting 20%. So he's looking all right. Dylan finally does get by a ghosted Lee Finlay, who's been hit still by Timon, so I don't really know exactly what's going on there, but they're both through, and now Fast Racer as well as Casper pits.
Yeah, he really took those tires all the way to the end as far as they were capable of going, and now has gone for some fresh mediums. No laps on them yet, so very new, very fresh. Oh, it needs to be careful here. This pit exit is one of the most frightening ones I've ever seen, honestly. Every time a car comes out there, I'm just thinking, oh, please, hopefully the other one see him, as Jordan now retires. That is in the pit lane, I think. Yes, indeed. And he's had enough, and Lee Finlay pitting as well. There is Jordan behind him, but already retired, so let's hope that doesn't cause a safety car.
So yes, as I was saying then, with Sparks, he's doing about 2% to his tires a lap. So they will be on the edge of failure at the end of the race, but he's got to go for it. I mean, if he gets a safety car later on, he'll probably take that chance to pit, maybe, but yeah, as long as he just keeps his cool, make sure those tires stay alive, the win is there for him at the moment.
I think he'll be fine.
Well do it. I hope he'll be fine. A bit of justice for qualifying, but certainly it's going well.
Yeah, It's really gonna be a question of tire management here for Sparks. He might pull a Lewis Hamilton and tell his race engineer, who I'm pretty sure is not named Bono, that, you know, probably around lap 35 is going to say that his tires are gone indeed. But for now he's looking good, and he's right on the back of Juice and Ashbest. I mean, how much better can it go?
Well, this is it. When they pit, it might not be for a while, but once they do, he really does just have the whole track to himself to play with, and it just means he can control this pack. And you probably won't see very fast lap times from him, but they don't need to be fast. So he will find himself in a position eventually to just control the pace, control everything he needs to do, and bring this home. But it is only going to be lap 16 at the start of the next one. A long, long way to go. And I'm sure the others, Dario, Dylan Warren, you know, all the rest of them, they won't be too happy to find themselves suddenly fighting for the fringes of the points. So I do wonder if we'll see any shenanigans later on with that, because Dario, I mean, he's done pretty well with his strategy. He can't do much better with this, but he's found himself behind, how many is it? 7 cars who pitted under that safety car?
Yeah, I mean, really, there's 2 cars left that haven't pitted yet. They're going to be gone, and they're not going to overtake, because, again, this is Monaco. They're not going to be able to overtake. So the kind of Ashbest and Juice are kind of out of contention here, unless the only thing that can save him, and even then Sparks will have a podium, is here goes Juice, by the way, around the outside of Ashbest into the Nouveau chicane, and Ashbest did not leave him any space there whatsoever. I'm not sure that was all fine and dandy, but yeah, Ashbest defending the position there. We got a yellow flag. That is
Blizzard.
As Blizzard, yeah. Needs to be said with Blizzard, very, very unlucky, because when the retired car of Jordan came out of the pit lane, that retired car basically put Blizzard into the wall, gave him damage, and so Blizzard had to pit again, went on to softs now, probably wants to take the fastest lap away, as Dylan Warren also with damage pitting 38% to the right side of the front wing, so a yellow front wing, definitely a pit stop for him here, and he goes on to new mediums.
Right then, so we find ourselves in a bit of a waiting game then. Basically, what is Dario going to do? I think that's the one I'm most interested in, because Juice and Ashbest, their fight's a bit academic, in all fairness, because they will pit and fall to the back.
Well, they can be saved if there is a safety car that's late enough for everyone to go onto softs. But then again,
well, yes.
Would someone like Sparks, if there's a safety car, let's say lap 30, would Sparks go into the pit lane to go for softs? Surely not. He would hope the track position sees him through. He wouldn't risk that around this track for soft tires that he can't even overtake with, because you can't overtake around here. So even then, it really doesn't save them at all, as Aero now goes to pit.
It's going to be that point now where those who did pit under that safety car who didn't choose the hard will be regretting their decision, potentially.
Yeah.
We did sort of question it when they were pitting, why aren't they all going onto the hard? Because, you know, this is a position that they're losing out on now. At the minute, pass 1-2 looks pretty good.
Well, 1-3 for now.
Together. Well, obviously, Sousa will move himself out of the way, won't he, when he pits off those mediums? There's no way they make it to the end, I don't think.
Yeah, it's unlikely. Certainly unlikely. As Dylan Warren now retires in the pit lane.
Sorry, actually. No. Maybe not, actually. Looking at our lovely graphics, actually, his tires are doing pretty much the same percentages, aren't they?
Yeah.
As Sparks. So, sorry.
And Gamer has damage. Gamer has damage, and Ashbest in the lead obviously has some as well, and Casper also has a little bit of damage, but those two, Ashbest and Casper, have 6% each, so they probably might not even know. But Gamer, 25% damage, that's at least light green, maybe even yellow, but I think it's light green. So Gamer stays out. He prioritizes the track position for now, and I think it's the right call. Because if he pits now, even with the damage, you can see the end plate is missing on the right side. Even if he pits now, like, he just takes himself out of contention altogether.
Yeah.
So, better to stick it out for the next 20 laps. Hope it doesn't get any worse. with the damage and just mitigate the issue.
Right, so yeah, looking actually at the percentages on the tire wear, there is actually a chance Susu gets to the end of this race on those. Because look at Domi and Recon, their tire wear is about 10% higher. So I don't know what magic Suso is pulling off right now to do it on similar age tires, but he's making them last much better.
Yeah, certainly either found some kind of setup trick, which I would be very surprised by, honestly, because I think we have these professional esports organizations like CRG, VSR, Shazoo. Usually, they find every single setup trick in the book. So I'd be surprised if Suso on his own found something that these big organizations didn't. But it's always a possibility, but it's unlikely. But I think he's just really good at tire management. I think he's just very, very smooth on the steering. He's making sure to keep him in good condition as Blizzard now finally, after all the trouble he's had, decides to park it up in the pit lane. He tried to fight. I gotta give him credit for that. Blizzard, you tried to fight for so long to make something out of this race, and it just wasn't gonna happen. Bad luck, bad day in the office, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back stronger for the next 7 races of the calendar.
Saw a good point there from Alamond as well, saying that the slow pace will be helping Suso as well. That's a good point, obviously.
Yeah.
And we sort of mentioned that would help Sparks, and of course it'll also help Suso arguably even more.
Yeah.
On a tire that would wear more. So yeah, that is a good point, obviously, because if we can see Suso's tires lasting, obviously, like I say, we have the TAS app, so we can see everyone's tire wear. We can also see that the top two, their tires, they're not even on 50% yet. So, you know, they'll be pacing themselves to make sure they go as far as possible as well. So
yeah, well,
it will be a relatively slow pace everywhere. And that's why, as I'm sure you've noticed, Tymon's caught Dario now.
Yeah.
6 seconds to 1 second in what, 5 laps?
Just about, I think, yeah. Looking at the last couple of lap times, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Yeah, he gained about 1.2 seconds on the last lap. So yeah, Tymon's been gaining about 6 seconds in 5 laps. And we have a new best first sector for Sparks, actually. So his tires just keep getting... Well, the tires themselves don't keep getting better and better, but he loses more and more fuel and the tires don't drop off at the same rate. So his lap time should increase every single lap. He should get faster compared to his own previous lap. But, yeah. And someone's saying that depending on the damage on Gamer, Wouters looks tasty. Well, again, 25%. It's the end plate gone for Gamer, but he can still mitigate that quite well, it seems. He's not suffering from massive tire wear. In fact, his tire wear is better. Even though he pitted in the same lap as Sparks, his tire wear is better than Sparks' on the rears. Slightly worse on the fronts, but the rears wear out more around here because obviously you have so much low gear acceleration that the rear tires are just taking so much more punishment, and the rear left even more so because it is obviously a clockwise circuit. So the outside tire here is the left tire, and the rear left in this case taking the most punishment. But Gamer's tires look good, better than Sparks. That's not much. Again, it's a minor difference, but I think, yeah, maybe there's something in the setup there for Gamer that allows him to mitigate that tire wear issue and balance it a little bit more towards the front and or towards the rear in help of the rear, and sort of at the expense of the front tires.
Yeah, I guess, well, I guess again, when we're saying about the damage, again, the slow pace will keep helping that. Just looking as well on the task, we're keeping on saying lap after lap. We've got to the point now where Suso's tire wear on the rears is exactly the same as Sparks. So, yes, certainly, you know, those meters will go to the end, I guess. The thing that they're going to worry about still is, will the mediums hit a breaking point sort of easier? Right, how do you explain this? The hard compound tires are not designed to blow up, and when they hit 70%, they should have a little bit more sort of, you know, resistance to that. But the mediums might be slightly easier to blow up, if that makes sense, just because it's a softer compound. So even if they get to that higher point, it might still be a medium that would go first, even if it's on the same percentage.
Yeah,
I
at
hope
some
that makes
point,
sense.
but the thing that needs to be remembered, I think, is that if the tires are on the same percentage near the end, let's say 70% for all of them, which is where they can start puncturing, at that point, all tires are the same in terms of pace. They all deliver the same grip at around, I don't know if it's 70%. I think it might be obviously, once they hit 100% and they puncture, they're all the same. That's for sure.
Well, yeah.
But, well, there's a knowledge bomb right there. But I think sort of like the higher you get on percentage, the closer they get together. And so, sure, when they're fresh, the mediums are 1.2 seconds faster than fresh hards. Now, at this stage, I think you can say the mediums are probably around, or Suzo's mediums are probably around maybe 7/10 quicker than Sparks' hards? Maybe 5/10? I don't know how much ultimately, but it's certainly less than the 1.2 seconds that we showed at the start of the broadcast.
Time in there. It's got a penalty, by the way. Luckily, no one in that top 5 has a penalty, so we're not going to be running
Top 7?
Well, top 7. I'm sort of thinking. Sorry. I'm
the net
ignoring
top. You're talking about
here,
the
yeah.
net top 5,
sorry.
yeah.
Net top 5. As well, there you go. Juice has now got a penalty anyway, so it is a net top.
There you go.
So,
As if he heard us. As if he heard us.
he hit the wall there nearly, Juice. He's giving it some. He's doing his best to try and keep up. Look at him all over the road. He's sliding that rear end out. But
Yeah,
yes,
you can tell from his tire wear. He's using more of the rears. He's using a lot more of the rears and a lot less of the fronts than Ash Best.
Yes.
Ash Best is having it more balanced, whereas Juice is just so painful on the rears right now. He's gonna have to pit soon at this point. I'd give it about 4 laps.
So when I'm on about the tires as well, in fairness, I don't know why I'm trying to put logic into it, because once they get 70%, it's pretty much random when they go. So
Yeah, they can go at 71, they can go at 99.
Yeah, yeah. So there's no point actually me trying to put any logic into it, because it is just completely random.
Yep.
As a fast racer has been overtaken by Aero. We didn't see it, but there's been an overtake on this track. And yes, that's a rare occurrence.
And unfortunately, it was for P13, so it doesn't really change much, does it? And Vast Racer has slight damage and Aeros on fresher tires, so you count all of that together, you realize, yeah, it makes sense.
But still, overtake's an overtake. Could be worse, I guess. Could be poor Lee Finlay. He hasn't even got a car to see anywhere. He's hoping for that safety car, isn't he? Actually, do you know what? Vast Racer, he's crawling around. I wonder if he's just given up. He's about to retire, is he?
Yeah, might be.
Okay, well, we'll still count it as an overtake.
See.
Oh, he's not retiring. He's not retiring. He just has damage, even though we can't see it on the screen. There is damage.
Yeah,
19%
it was, and he goes on to softs. He's probably just trying to get the fastest lap at this point, hope that maybe 5 other cars retire, or even if not, he just steals a point away from the other drivers in the top 10.
Yeah, well, he might as well, take that point away. Oh, wow, look at that. Timing's gone up the inside of Dario into the hairpin. I was wondering why he was getting hit.
Oh, they touched.
And that's why. It's because there was a car suddenly on Dario's inside. Timon's got sick of waiting, and he wants to get this stuff moving. And, well, that's an aggressive start to the movement. He's probably not going to get away with surprising Dario like that again, though. I'm sure he'll be expecting it next time.
Yeah, by the way, despite all the contact, no damage between the two cars there. They're both still in pristine condition. I know, unbelievable, but it is what it is. It is actually so. He goes slightly into the back there. Still no damage. These cars can get away with a little bit of bumping there, but certainly Timon is playing with his luck here.
They're lucky it's at such low speed where they've had contact as Juiced falls behind Sparks. His tires really are starting to struggle, aren't they? Heading towards the 70% range. He might be our wee guinea pig here for exploding tires, perhaps.
Yeah, could
Tell
be.
us when it's going to go, because you're certainly struggling. I mean, if at that percentage he's losing it, then
Oh, Timon, this is never
he's
gonna
not doing
work.
it again, is he?
Timon, this is never gonna work into the
He's put his
hairpin.
teammate in the wall, and now his teammate's going past him.
No,
What a
he's put
mess.
Dario in the wall.
Well, he's put Dario and his teammate in the
Yeah.
wall. Obviously, I know Dario, but then he went for his teammate too. I don't think there was any damage for anyone. in
No,
that.
surprisingly, once again, no damage
But,
whatsoever.
Yeah,
That's
a Timon. That's a Timon realizing that he was leading the race. He's realized it's not 27. I'm still 10th here. What's going on?
Yeah.
He's realized it's in his own hands and it's gone wrong. Oh, he's into the wall again. He's really given it a good go to try and get back up there as Juice pits and Timon
and he
pits as
pits,
well.
and I think he retires. He's frustrated. Maybe he also wants the fastest lap. I don't know, but this might be a retirement here. Juice in the pits as well. I don't know what
They've all
Timon is
started to
doing.
go slightly crazy.
He's not retiring.
It's
Okay, but
Soft
yeah.
revolution. Well, here's Sparks, because he's got himself clear of DRS range. He's now on the back of Ash Best. I doubt there'll be any moves here. It'll be suicide. If he does go for anything, there's absolutely no need to. Well, you can now see only one car lies between him and the lead of this race.
Yeah, and that car is going to disappear within the next 3 laps, I think. Maybe at the end of
it's
this
not long
one,
now, is it?
but it's not gonna happen. That Ashbest, I mean, he has to pit. He is, by the rules, he's required to pit because he's started on these tires that he's still on. He hasn't had any others on the car. Suso also started on the tires that he's on right now, by the way. But there you go, Ashbest goes into the pit. But Suso had softs on for 1 lap, then took back the mediums that he started on. That is legal. He can finish on those mediums, and he will, as his tire weight is most likely. His tire weight is pretty much the same as Sparks again.
I was going to mention that. It is starting to slowly become worse, his tire wear, particularly on the fronts.
Yeah, but the fronts don't matter as much.
Yeah, but it might just give him more understeer, which might mean he has to work the car more to get out of the corners, a little bit more throttle, and it might just build over time. And he's got 11 laps here to go still, so he should get to the end. I'm not expecting he'll not get to the end, but he will have to be careful.
Yeah, with 11 laps to go, and the tires in the situation they're in. I mean, I'm more worried for Domi and Recon because I think they're really stretching it in P5 and 6.
They're really stretching, aren't they? They're having to stretch it.
Yeah, they have to hope. They have to say a Hail Mary and hope that they're being heard, that it's being answered, because otherwise they're not going to make it. They have to hope that the RNG gods of tire wear on this game are with them, because otherwise one of those tires at least is going to puncture, and they will have to pit, and they will be out of the points. But at this point, if you pit, well, you definitely take yourself out of the points. So what are they left to do? They can only...
Oh, Dario is ghosted inside Recon. That's not really going to help Recon's case, is it? But can Dario actually get past him? He's struggled a decent bit there, and he's still inside. And, well, he's got through in the end, and Recon's going to go back through him.
Yeah, Recon has damage.
Yeah, he's got the damage. I wonder if that's just happened.
Yeah, it has. It has. It
so
was.
That's why he's ghosted.
Yeah, it was in lap 30, which is what we're in right now. He had 6% on the right side. That was earlier. But the 25% on the left side, where the end plate is now gone for Recon, that is new. And he now has to let Casper by. Can't really fight that. And I think Recon might actually... Yeah. Looks like... Oh, no, he's not pulling over. But it might be that he's just... I'm going to take this home to the pit lane and retire there. Might be what's happening. Because, yeah, at this point it is a little bit too much damage. And yeah, there you can see he's going into the pit lane. This might be the end for Recon.
We've been saying that, but they never are.
Yeah, that's the surprising thing to me as well. I would have been like, you know what, let's not, you know, let's not get angry over a track that is my #1 hate track. I gotta say. I wish it. I gotta be honest, I personally wish it wasn't on the calendar. I know that's a very. I understand, and you know, there's people that love this track, and I understand why. I don't think it has a place in modern F1. It was great in the 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, maybe even the 80s, but for 2020, 2021 now, I just don't think it has a place in modern F1. But that's just me. Regardless of that, you know, I would have retired at this point, but kudos to those drivers who have come into the pit lane multiple times and have had front wing damage over and over and still drive. I gotta say, even to those who retired, this isn't to say that, you know, they're not, you know, they're not doing well or anything. I fully understand why they retired, and I would have done the same thing, honestly.
Sparks is easily now pulling away from Suso, because Suso has realised, hasn't he? He's got to get to the end. The win's not going to happen. He's got to keep second place now. He's got to make sure those tires get there, and he's happy to let Sparks go. And Gamer's got damage behind him, so I'm sure he'll have picked up on that. So he knows that as long as he just keeps it smooth, keeps himself out of harm's way, just get it to the end now. And that means that Sparks, who, well, we sort of said, you would only use the hards if you were pitting on lap 1 because of a safety car or damage. And well, he's pitting on lap 1 and he's taking these to the end of the race. And it looks like, you know, touch wood, it's on for a victory. But there's a long way to go. And Dario has just made an overtake on Domi, and he's obviously got tyres that he can probably push to the end of the race. I'd be very surprised if he made his way up to the front, but he'll certainly be giving it his best shot.
Yeah, if you look at this right now, you have the leader on hards, second place on mediums who needs to really worry about tire wear, third place on hards with damage, fourth place on hards. Dario is the first one who's really got some pace in here, and it's going to be hard to overtake, but he is one of the drivers.
He's done it.
Oh wow, there's a lot going on there. I wanted to go to Juice because Juice is on the softs. He might make some moves. He has a group of 4 in front. Casper, Mates, Domi, Aero. Aero slips by Domi. Can Juice find a way past someone here? Past Domi, maybe. He's going down the inside. Domi lets him by. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to fight this. He's got the softs. I don't. And Juice going down the inside. Got another position. This could get really feisty here. The top 5 are sort of decided, but this one here, this is wide open.
Yeah. It certainly is. I think they did well to get by Domi as quick as they did. I think he might have come to the same conclusion that he has to get these to the end now, because he's seen 71% and thought, uh-oh, problems here. Probably shouldn't be fighting these guys. But Dario's tire wear is effectively the same as the leader. He's not really got that massive of an advantage, except maybe he's a bit more aggressive. Maybe that'll help him to get through. Because he'll know his tires are at least younger, so maybe he'll have the mindset that, well, if these are younger, surely they'll be struggling more than me, and I can go for these moves a little bit. As Matt has to said, he looks like he wants past Casper soon, and he's really all over the back of him as well, as Sparks continues to build that gap. It might all be down to who gets second in the end. It's all building up to a train for that.
Yeah, meanwhile, Aero
is so slow now.
Yeah, meanwhile, Aero with a massive slide there out of the right-hander down the hill. And again, I'm surprised he held it there. As we have a yellow flag, that is, I think, Timon.
Timon is it's just slow down. I don't know. Hasn't got any punctures or anything wrong with the car.
Yeah, it was gone as quick as it came, really.
Maybe had a bit of a slide or something. Just
possibly.
It.
Certainly no damage. The tires are still fine, but
I want to see just how slow Suso is going, just compared to Spark, because I can only imagine he'll keep going slower. As Spark sets a 12.6, 1 minute 12.6. So what's Suso doing? Yeah, it's a second a lot slower.
Yeah.
And that's only going to get worse.
Oh yeah.
This will be an interesting finish to this race.
Well, let's see if Juice can find a way past Aero here. They're certainly battling. Aero is one who doesn't have to worry about his tires anymore. 17 laps, you see, he's definitely fine on those. Well, let's also look to Dario here, as he is now on the back of his Shazoo teammate Wouters. Look at this traffic jam in the middle of Monaco. I mean, you had 8 cars lined up perfectly behind each other as like one massive metal snake. It's just, you only get this at Monaco. As much as I personally hate driving this track, seeing that, it just makes for some incredible imagery.
It's wonderful. And, well, what are they going to do about it? Is anyone going to try and break that train? Suso, again, feels the pressure. You know, if it wasn't a damaged car behind him, it might have a little bit more pressure. But I'm sure CRG Gamer wants a 1-2 here for Haas. I mean, he's also
saving ERS. Well. He's saving ERS. Look at this, 36%, almost 40% timing once again in the Nouveau chicane.
An accident.
Yeah, probably hit the wall on entry.
Yep. Yeah, Lee Finlay's half his front wind's missing.
Oh no, it was Lee Finlay. Sorry, it wasn't Simon.
In the wall
Apologies.
again. Don't call any safety cars now. That'd be a complete disaster for everyone involved. And no, there goes the whole front line. We've seen in this race already a whole front line gone. Can bring out a safety car. I really hope it doesn't. Please don't. I think we're all right. I don't think it's going to be anything like. Yes, but we're all good. We're all good. No
I think Lee Finlay is retiring now. Or is he still continuing?
You need to stop saying this. Well,
yeah,
maybe,
we do.
Actually, no, keep saying it because it's keeping people in. Talking the 6 that aren't. But keeping the numbers up. Man, you're still hard in AOR these days. But
Owen!
Had to.
Unbelievable. I mean, I look at the tire wear right now, and Domi is still going, which is the most surprising thing to me, that his tires did not blow up yet. Suso, everyone else, by the way, is still fine. No one has breached the 70%. Domi is about to breach 80%, so he's really playing with fire right now. He's gonna hit 85, most likely, unless he hits 100, in which case he would also definitely breach 85, that's for sure. But yeah, there goes 80% on the rear left. Wow. Domi, that's a bold strategy, and the saddest thing about it is, it won't even get him a point. Oh, there goes the rear right. There goes the rear right for Domi. The rear right is gone. As I say, the apologies for the commentators, because the rear left. Oh boy, the rear left is at 80% and fine, 82 actually. The rear right broke at 75. That is just unlucky.
Bad news. That is bad news for people who will be focusing on that other tire then. They've got 2 tires to worry about.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen 75s have to go. Mind you, only 2 to go in this race. I'd be surprised if anyone at the front even hits that, apart from Dario, ironically.
Suso's on 69 right now, and Dario, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I thought for some reason I thought it said 66. No, it doesn't say that. So Suso, obviously Suso, we know he's been crawling round to try and get to the end, but wouldn't that be heartbreaking if it goes as early as 70?
Yeah, we're looking at Suso now. Dario is on 70. Dario is and Suso as well.
Danny on the final lap of the Spanish Grand Prix last season. His tire went, and it was pretty early on. I think only one other person went. It is honestly random. Once you get 70%, which 2 people have now, Suso and, as you say, Dario, it's luck. It's luck at this point.
It really is. Danny Moreno made that experience, as you mentioned. His tire blew at 71. That's where Dario is right now. He was really unlucky at the time. That's where Dario is right now. 71 on the rear left. Suso now on 70. So we're really... I'm having 1 eye and a half on the telemetry, and really just half an eye on the actual race as Sparks starts the final lap. We have to look at Suso. I'll try and catch Sparks coming across the line, but I mean, this is about as dramatic as it gets. I'm gonna keep half an eye on Dario here as well.
Gamer's going for the move, I think, is he? Oh, there's nowhere to go. That must be so frustrating. He's practically pushed him up the hill, and Suso is still keeping that 2nd position. And I wonder if Wouters might fancy having to go as well, because it is just the slowest traffic jam in the world, and it's the last chance they're going to have to go for any moves in this race. Will the Nouvelle Chicane be a potential overtaking spot? Will Suso even have the grip to get out of Portier okay? I think he's okay still. He has got enough ERS to keep ahead, so I think second place should be alright for him. Unless Gamer just dive bombs him, which I doubt he would do. It would be suicide, like I say, to go for me like that. But I think we should look at Sparks, because he is coming through the Rascas.
Yeah, I'm looking at the track map.
Corner to go.
There he is, through the final corner.
Sparks, he won the first race of the season. He's going to become the first repeat winner of the season as he comes across the line. He had pole taken away with the 5-place grid penalty, but he's come here to Monaco and he's won by nearly 10 seconds from Suso, who's brought those tyres all the way to the end of the race. 38 laps old. Incredible stuff. Gamer makes it 2 Hasses on the podium from Wouters, Aero, Ash Best. Ash Best? We thought he'd be at the back. He's ended up 6th in the end, with Casper just by a couple of hundreds. 4 tenths between 6th and 8th, as it turned out in the end, with Onyx being in 8th for Matthijs. And then we've got Juiced and Dario closing out the points.
I mean, what a race. Jesus.
Love that one.
We ultimately had 4 drivers ending up in the 70% range as Sparks crossed the line with 70 and Wouters as well. They just crossed the line with 70. Suso at 73, Dario at 74, and we had, of course, Domi, who did suffer a puncture on the rear right, surprisingly. But, I mean, truly remarkable, and what a great result for Sparks. Championship leader, taking the victory, making the gap even bigger than before.
And that is Monaco Grand Prix. People, obviously the drivers don't like the track, but I mean, wow, to watch it. That's just it. I love this race every season. Oh, can we go back already? I love that. Loved every second.
Meanwhile, Owen, I have some breaking news out of the chat.
Arsenal are winning.
No, I don't know.
2-0.
I don't know. No, even better than that. The PSGL YouTube account has officially reached 1,000 subscribers.
And just as you say that, all the confetti and all the
yes,
the champagne,
yes,
beautifully timed.
Just like Sparks is celebrating right there, we are celebrating. Thank you very much, everyone who is watching right now, who has been watching, who has subscribed. Thank you very much for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. As CRG Sparks takes victory, Suso second, Gamer third. That is the podium. We're trying to get them in for driver interviews. Wouters 4, Aero 5, Ashbest 6, Casper 7, Matthijs 8, Juice 9, Dario 10. After finishing on P5, but the penalties, the 6 seconds, drop him down all the way to P10. And then we have Recon 11, Timon 12, Lee Findley 13, Domi 14, and retirements from Vasta Racer, Blizzard, Dylan Warren, Jordan Prinens, and Christmas.
So what a day that is for Sparkson, because he's obviously come into this championship leader, taking his second win of the season. Timon, no points. Juiced, where did you end up?
2 points.
Wouters might move up to second. Does he move up to second? That'll be a close one, that, actually. I think he might have just squeezed in there, but he hasn't got a win, so he'll be third still, I think. Although saying that, sorry, no, Juice would move up to second, wouldn't he? And then Wouters would be actually staying fourth, but he'd be pretty much equal on points of timing. But the big thing, anyway, is that Sparks has pulled way ahead.
Yeah, that's for sure. Looking at the, I wish we could, because we have it in our telemetry where we can look at the standings sort of real time. And yeah, second place is now going to be Juiced with 37 points, 18 behind Sparks. 18 points behind Sparks. Third place is going to be, if I can find it, hold on. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Timon at 36, who hasn't scored any. Fourth place is going to be Wouters at 32. Fifth place is going to be Gamer at 30. So Sparks is about 25 points clear of P5, and he's 18. That's more than a win with fastest lap. So Sparks will definitely be the leader in the Drivers' Championship after the next race as well. Even if he doesn't show up, he'll still have the lead.
You know, with such a short season, we keep saying it, 12 races. If he can just hold that gap just a couple more weeks, he'd find himself in such a good position. I mean, it's working out fantastically for him. I mean, the championship I won was a short one. Having a one race advantage at the earlier stage, it is just such a massive advantage to have. So, yeah, fantastic stuff for him. And like I say, the first repeat winner of the season as well. So, yeah, he's having a blinder of a season, isn't he?
Yeah, meanwhile, we have two of the drivers, the two CRG guys, already waiting in the waiting room. Owen, I don't know, can you do it? Are you capable of pulling them in here, or do I have to do it?
Let's see.
There you go.
Huzzah! Huzzah again.
Well, that's one way to say hi. But yeah, we're now on to the driver interviews. We have, of course, the winner, CRG Sparks here. Third place, CRG Gamer as well. Suso is still... I don't know, is he going to join, yes or no?
He said he's not joining.
Okay, well, that makes that clear then. But yeah, I think we're going to start first off with Gamer. P3, you nursed quite a bit of damage on the right side of your front wing around for a very long time. How difficult was that around a track like Monaco where downforce is so important?
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult, but as much as it's bad, it's Monaco. It's probably one of the better places to get damage because no one can really overtake you. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, even without the damage, I don't know if I'd have managed to get any higher. I mean, obviously, I'm glad I managed to hold on, but yeah, it was like yellowy orange, so definitely didn't help. But yeah, it wasn't too bad given Monaco, so that's all right.
Was there even an attempt to try and get second place off of Sousa, or were you just thinking, you know what, I have damage, he's got medium tires, if he gets a puncture, sure, I'll take it, but I'm not going to force it? Like, what was the thinking there?
If I saw a decent opportunity, I'd have definitely gone for it. I did sort of try it out of turn one on the last lap, but he parked it quite well, to be fair, right in the middle of the track, and there's nowhere through without potentially getting in a crash, which obviously I didn't want to do. So, yeah, I mean, I was hoping for a puncture from him, I'm not going to lie, but I don't know how he held those mediums on. So, but yeah, fair play to him. And yeah, from where I qualified, it was awful qualifying. I'm very happy with the podium, so can't really ask for much more.
All right, Owen, do you have anything?
I just wanted to ask actually about the pit stop, because I mean, you pitted with your teammate. Are you surprised you didn't get many more people in like that? Because it seemed the obvious choice that to go for the hards. Was that always the plan that there was a safety car coming out? Because it seemed pretty coordinated.
Yeah, that was pretty much always the plan. I mean, I'm not going to lie, from the position I was in, I was questioning it, whether it's worth just staying out, because I was pretty sure I was just going to be right at the back. But yeah, for some reason, none of the front runners pitted. I don't know why. To me and Sparks, at least, it seemed like the obvious choice. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, it worked out pretty much perfectly for us both. So.
Right, okay, that's all I've got then. Guess I'm going to move on to Sparks then.
Let's move on to the race winner. And at this point, I think it's safe to say the clear championship leader, Sparks. First off, what was going through your mind the moment you got into the lead after the top two pitted? Was this for you just like, okay, now just don't crash, bring it home, or what was going through your mind?
I was just thinking, I mean, that's just going to be the win, isn't it? I mean, there was not much more to think about. It's Monaco. I had Suso behind me. I was a lot quicker than him by a good margin. I think it must have been something about half a second to a second a lap. Then we just, yeah, I was still pushing slightly. I was quite enjoying the rhythm of the track. But yeah, I was quite calm. So yeah, nothing really.
Then I would like to know, like, what happened in qualifying? You got a 5-place grid penalty. It was that early that we didn't really fully catch it. What was going on there with, I think it was Domi, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, one of the VSR drivers went into the back of me, the corner before the hairpin. I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. He was trying to overtake in qualifying. I don't think he got the gist that it was qualifying and not the race. And got a 5-second or 5 place for it, which I think was quite unfair. I was very angry at the time, but obviously it's paid off. I don't know why people didn't pit for the hards in the race. and pretty much the safety car saved me. You can call it luck, but they didn't pit, so it went well.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you still gotta deliver, and you still gotta make the best out of the situation that you get, and you certainly did that, despite getting a P6, or starting from P6 after getting pole position originally. So congratulations. Oh, do you have any questions?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, you've now got Championship League, which is over a race over a race win plus fastest lap. I think it's 18 points. So looking ahead to the next couple of races, then, what's your approach going to be? Are you going to be a little less, conservative, try and hold that lead, or do you reckon you'll be able to pull ahead even further?
Well, who's it behind me? Is it Used?
Second place is Juiced, yes.
Yeah, well, I think I've got the edge on pace on Used. Feynman, I don't know. I think we're pretty similar. But I believe that I can still win it. Obviously I can win it. But I think I'll be a bit more cautious in the sense that if I'm in P2, I'm not going to risk everything for P1. I'm not going to risk that final quali lap for pole. I'm just going to be a bit more conservative, but I'll still be going for wins. Nevertheless, I'll pretty much drive the same. Just I'll have it in the back of my mind.
Right, okay. That's
all right. I would have one last question for both of them. Looking forward, obviously, to the next race next week in Italy. How much of a change is it to go from the slowest track to the fastest track, and how much are you looking forward to Italy?
I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, it's a bit of an odd track for me. Sometimes I do well, or sometimes I don't. I think last season in PSGL I got pole there in the wet, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's quite a weird track in the sense you need to cut a lot to get lap time, which I'm not a fan of, but nevertheless, it'll be fun. I'm just going to try and extend my championship lead.
All right, and Gamer? Gamer, you muted.
I was
there you go.
in PSGL last season, so I haven't done Italy yet, so I don't have a clue.
Oh, okay.
So
well,
it'll be different, and I've not done it on this game at all, so yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, there you go. Well, we're going to see how you guys are doing. We're going to see how all of them are doing. Thank you very much, guys, for joining the interviews, and congratulations to Gamer on the third place and to Spox, obviously, for the win. And let's move both of you out. There we go. So let's look at the calendar. Obviously, as mentioned before, we have Italy coming up next week. That will be the 25th of January. However, if you are on the channel, if you're watching right now and you think, hey, I want to watch a lot more of PSGL, not just the F1, well, you're in for a treat. Tomorrow, they're going to kick it off with the Formula Performance around Italy. So you want to get your first look at the track? Well, the Formula Performance got you covered tomorrow. And then, obviously, throughout the week, we have a lot of racing going on Thursdays, on Sundays, and then, of course, with the F1, as well as F2, F3, F4, and F5, I think, is the F6 on Monday as well. I think it goes down to F5. But yeah, a lot of action for the next 7 days around Italy, and we're going to end it all off with the PSGL PlayStation F1 tier. So with that, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week at 8 p.m. UK, 9 p.m. Central European Time. Thank you very much for watching, and until next week, goodbye.